Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Phenomenal Views. I am your host Nick Smith, and this is the discussion, my review of the 4th episode of Gotham. Now, with this episode, they put a lot of spoilers, a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of hints at things that they're going to be doing in the series, and this was a really good episode. So, this episode is mainly talking about, with Arkham once again, about how Falconi, but also Maroni, wants Arkham. And they revealed that Maroni wanted to do what the Waynes had planned, with Arkham already being burned to the ground or discarded after the events in Arkham Asylum, to leading up, eventually, to Arkham City. Yes, they did blueprints for Arkham City. They had Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne in development for Arkham City, and it was going to be their idea to create a place for an inhabitable place for the unfortunate, like for the poor people of Gotham. And so there's this assassin who was taking out important people, and so There's an assassin who's taking out these important people, but turns out he works for both Maroni and Falconi. They're sending messages to one another. Like, the episode begins with this guy trying to sell this weapon, but it's this thing that he screws together, and this long spike comes through the guy's eye. That's his killing mark. And then the other one he puts in a barrel and burns him alive. And, like, the struggle for Arkham, because each one has their own plans. And so, the end of the episode, Gordon finds out that the final hit is on the mayor of Gotham. So, with all this going on, also we find out how Bruce is once again becoming the Batman, becoming the world's greatest detective, with him sitting on the couch asking Alfred for more files on Arkham, trying to get a lead, trying to make sense of it, and trying to keep what his parents had planned. And when he tells Gordon about it, he's trying to make sure that Maroni wins, because Maroni wanted to do what the Waynes had planned. So while this is going on, there's also a symbol. I can't remember what it was. I took notes. I think the symbol, it was 3 words. I think it was MLA, or just one second. Stuff about Cobblepot. CLM. They find this clue and it says CLM. Unfortunately, they do not mention what it is, but they find out that the guy is Richard Gladwell, and they do chase him. Bullock and Gordon do have their own ways of finding out stuff. Bullock goes to fish, Gordon doesn't. So they eventually do find out who it is, and they do chase him down. Now, with Cobblepot, after the way the 3rd episode ended with him coming to Gordon's door, he talks about, look, there's a war coming, I can help you. And Gordon's like, I should kill you, but Gordon doesn't, and Cobblepot's like, look, you're the only good man in Gotham, and I think that it can be saved. This is my home. I want to help save it. So, when he's working at a restaurant, his boss catches him listening into stuff, and the boss gets ticked off. He's like, look, if I ever see you doing that again, you're basically either going to be fired or killed. He basically says that. But then all of a sudden, this robbery takes place, and then the main manager gets killed. So when the people with the guns are walking around, or the people who protect the business, Maroni's men, they find that Cobblepot is in the freezer with half the money, but unfortunately the robbers got the rest of it. So because of this, Maroni makes Cobblepot the manager. And I was like, okay, it would be so awesome if Cobblepot got in control, and he does. And I love how they're building him to becoming the Penguin, on how the Penguin is, like how they have the Penguin in Arkham City, and how they're apparently going to be, how they have him also in Arkham Origins, and how they're going to, and also how they're going to be having him in Arkham Knight. So, and turns out when we find out at the end of the episode that he set up the whole thing. He set up the whole ordeal. He hired people to rob the restaurant, kill the manager, and then he got promoted. And then he poisoned the man and took the money. I was like, okay, that's pretty smart. I'm loving what they are doing with this character. I really do love it. It's really good. Now, we do get some more stuff with Fish. We find out more about how she's wanting to take down Maroni. I mean Falconi. She says that she needs a weapon. So she holds auditions or something for people who can do whatever they need to do, whatever she needs them to do, and how to do it. So she has these two girls, and she keeps asking the girls to seduce her. Which, I don't know, she must, either has a bisexual vibe, or she's really hitting a lesbo vibe. Either way. So then, later on, she's like, you both have different things of what I want all together. I like both of you, but I can only keep one of you. So figure it out yourselves. We find out Fish wants them to fight to the death, and this girl reminded me of a very certain growing WWE superstar, or WWE diva, who became Divas Champion after WrestleMania 30. To me, she reminded me of this woman, of Paige from WWE. But it's not her, but her face, her resemblance makes me think it's her. So anyway, she does get her weapon eventually. And when Gordon is chasing down the assassin to save the mayor, Bullock ends up saving his butt. Because when Gordon had a gun to his face, Bullock comes up, and then he's like, you know what? The thing about me is I get my job done. He was going to kill the mayor. Both Gordon and Bullock just gun him down. This was a very good episode. Now, we do get some more scenes with Barbara and Gordon after what took place in the last episode, with finding out that the other lady cop was Barbara's former lover, and how she does not like Gordon, and how Barbara hates that Jim is keeping secrets from her. And the thing he always tells her, look, it's work. I can't talk to you about work. And she's like, you need to trust me. But then she tells him, she's like, look, I had a relationship with her, only lasted a year. I broke it off. I moved on. And then he's like, you lied to me. And she's like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I should have told you. So after all this stuff goes on, she does visit him, and she's like, look, I'm sorry. I should have told you. She's like, but there cannot be any more secrets between us. And so she's wanting to know who Oswald Cobblepot is, because of how the lady cop was like, look, he killed Oswald Cobblepot. She wants to know, but he's like, I can't talk to you about it. It's work. So then she puts him in a situation. She's like, either you let me in or you let me go. And then she walks out. Now, I don't know if she's out for good, because I do know that Jim Gordon eventually does. Now, this is a spoiler for those who have not read the comics. Jim Gordon, I think, eventually ends up marrying a woman named Sarah, which she appears in Batman Year One. Of course, that's in the film adaptation. I don't know about the comic. And they have a little bit of a love affair. And then and then he names his first daughter, aka Barbara, after his first wife, I believe. So I don't know what's going to happen with all that. We do get another scene from Edward Nygma, just being Nygma. And we find out that by the end of the episode, because Gordon and Bullock were trying to make sure that Maroni would win because of what Falconi wants to do with Arkham, after saving the mayor says we're going to do something different. Instead of doing what the Waynes wanted, they're doing something different. And what that is both Maroni and Falconi get Arkham, but they each get half. Maroni has a bigger piece of Arkham, though, than Falconi does. And once again, Fish is wanting to take Falconi down, so she's like, this really hit him hard. She's wanting Falconi, once again, Fish is wanting Falconi to die. She's wanting to take over his operation. She wants more power. She basically wants to be the kingpin of all crime in Gotham, pretty much. And she's doing whatever she can to get it. Besides that, there wasn't really anything else in this episode. I basically pretty much covered anything. This was a really good episode. I haven't found my favorite yet, because this is only the first season. This series, I think, is really growing strong, and I cannot wait to see what they're going to be doing for next week. Let me just go over my notes, see if I've missed anything, which I don't think I have. We do find out that Bruce is still having nightmares about his parents. They did mention that in the last episode about how Bruce apparently has not been sleeping much. And, once again, how he most of the time spends his late nights staying up for days and not sleeping. So they are, once again, slowly building him up to how he's going to become Batman. At the end of the episode, when they find out what's going on, Bruce is starting to lose faith, but because everything that his parents stood for is dying, and they honestly believe that a new Arkham Asylum would have been a good thing for the people of Gotham. And so Gordon's like, not everything that they have is dead. You're still alive. I still believe that Gotham is worth saving. And then the episode ends with Penguin getting all that money after killing his own men. And I was like, that's a good way to end this episode. But guys, this has been another episode of Phenomenal Views of the 4th episode of Gotham. Please put in the comments below, what did you think about this episode? Guys, I cannot wait to see what's going to happen on the next half season of Gotham. Guys, have a good night.